Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where I always forget for some reason about the state right-click menu. I don't know why. I've been trying this whole time to remember how to get a state colonizing. And it's that. It's just that. So we'll get Dixie and Great Plains colonizing. We're beginning to colonize up here in Niitsitapi, and we're also colonizing in Comanche. We're not in a huge rush on those, but we'll get going on them, and that'll be absolutely fine. So we are, of course, constructing these gold mines. We are really positive in our finances right now, which is a little bit remarkable considering we're at our target taxation, and we're at our target wages as well. So what that means is that we need to expand our construction sectors. At 7K each, we should be able to afford maxing out our New York construction sector. Now, note that I put this at the bottom. I'm going to move them up. There we go. Perfect. So we're going to get those done. That's not going to take very long. I do expect this to dip us a little bit negative here for some time, at least until our gold mines are done. That's likely going to be the case there. Now, I do want to go to war with Mexico. The question is, would anyone be upset if we were to conquer Utah? We'll face Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador. Britain, Russia, Dynam, and Hudson Bay Company may join. So before we get started on that, Russia is antagonistic with poor relations. We're going to begin improving relations with them. Eventually, we're going to have to get Alaska from them, but for right now, I would rather that they not get involved here. We're a great power than they are, but their army is actually a little weaker than ours. But I would definitely like that to be working its way up. Great Britain is the #1 great power. They are also weaker than us militarily. So I would like to improve relations with them. I don't think Great Britain is going to get involved in it. Russia very well might. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so we're at plus 15K right now. All of those construction sectors finished. Yep, we do dip negative as that weak tick finishes. I'm not surprised about that. That is pretty much what I expected. Cool. And we're colonizing this up. Note that our colonization institution is still very low. That's deliberate because we're at 11 bureaucracy right now. Realistically, we should be constructing at least one more government administration. And we'll go ahead and build that in New York, which is kind of becoming our de facto capital, isn't it? Hang on. Yeah, the White House has this government administration building throughput increase. We should build it in DC. Okay. We've been building it in New York for the throughput increase here from economy of scale, but we're probably better off changing that. Sorb people are now migrating to Texas. I like it. That's good. And we're going to get this government administration done in 13 weeks. That looks good. Tools and steel are currently expensive. I'm not surprised about steel. How expensive is that? Not tremendously, but I would like to get a couple of extra steel mills built. And that would, of course, be in Pennsylvania. So we're going to take this up to around 4. There we go. We're building tooling industries and motor industries as it is right now. So I think this is good. What is this? The duel. Elton Appleton has challenged Samuel Beauregard to a duel to the death. Well, do we care about either of these? A general versus a politician. Let's just ban dueling. Cool. Andrew Jackson would be upset about that. Is he still alive? I don't actually know if he is or not. So we're at minus like 50K right now. And that's about what I expected, to be honest. We'll get that turned around. We'll get this government administration finished up. And get our bureaucracy positive. And that's buying us time to bring up relations with Russia. So that's looking good. Our colonization is continuing. And we're just going to eliminate Mexico eventually. Are we going to be able to take everything of theirs? I doubt it. What is our notoriety right now? Okay, we're reputable. Cool. So that's fine. We find ourselves positive in bureaucracy now. That's looking great. And we actually don't even have this government administration done. So we must have had that effect expiring. That must be what happened there. Cool. So this government administration will finish up. That's fine. Steel mills will be finishing soon, and the price of tools will have dropped. Ohio and New York require railways. So we'll get those queued up. Beautiful. Those are high priority. Okay. 373 is our current construction rate. And, of course, we're eventually going to go down to arc-welded buildings. We're currently researching international exchange standards, but once we're done with that, we're probably going to grab pneumatic tools and electric arc process just to get down to arc welding, is I think what we're going to do. We find ourselves at 71% literacy, that's pretty good, and 7.5 million loyalists. That's looking really, really good, actually. 20 million is our current population. Beautiful. Growing by almost 2% annually. Health system investment just increased, so that's actually going to be going up. 1.96% now. Looking at our institutions, we still want to bring our health system up. But for now, that's the best we can do. Cool. These colonizations, despite only being on level 1, are actually going pretty quickly. So that's very, very good. This trade route is currently unproductive. We will get rid of that. And explosives and steel are what's currently short. But we're building chemical plants and steel mills right now, as we speak. So that looks good. Absolutely fine. We're now the number 3 GDP worldwide, and our GDP is increasing dramatically. I want to look in here. We have 1 million peasants still, so we can expand very rapidly. We're actually constructing everything on page 1, and workplace safety just went up to level 5. So that puts us at 1.98%. Is this going to update? Okay, 1.98%. Cool. 400,000 people annually. That's really good. So our population is going to start just skyrocketing, right? We have all of this construction ongoing. The camera was just unlocked. Okay, cool. I do want to think about attacking Mexico. So we're up to neutral relations with Russia. The question is, do we try to do this now? If Russia joins, problems ensue, and our economy wouldn't be strong enough to deal with that in this exact moment. That said, if we were to turn off construction, maybe. Goods for military buildings are up there, but they're not too bad. Hey, there's our minting. So that gives us a good amount of cash. Let's grab pneumatic tools at this point. That'll give us additional construction sector throughput. The slavery debate is now over. Slavery is banned, and it is what it is. Cool. So the southern planters are going to lose a lot of their power. It looks like we've successfully avoided the Civil War. And honestly, it wasn't even close. So I don't know what those people were saying, that you can't avoid the Civil War. They appear to be wrong. It appears to be pretty easy. Cool. We do have a couple more unproductive trade routes that we would definitely like to get rid of. Input goods shortages of engine and die. Okay, that's not actually unproductive anymore. How are we doing on our dye works down here? We still need employment. Okay. So for the time being, that's reasonably fine. I want to check in. Oh, what is this? Revolutionary New Brunswick versus Britain, huh? I mean, they're not going to win this. They're definitely not going to win it. We're going to declare our neutrality. Cool. And our GDP is going to hit 200 million quite soon. So these are now considered unproductive. We'll get rid of them. Wonderful. Input goods shortage of dye. again, we just need people in our dye plantations, right? That's what we need here more than anything. And eventually, this will finish up. This is the most productive dye plantation in the world. It's just the only one we have. So, there is that. And we have our economy of scale throughput here. So, that's all good. Beautiful. So we find ourselves quite positive financially now. And I think that this means that we can safely declare our war on Mexico. If Russia gets involved, we're going to be slightly upset. But it'll probably be similar to France. So we're going to go ahead and do our conquer state on Utah. And this time, we're going to let this tick forward here. El Salvador abandoned Mexico. So did Guatemala. Fascinating. So I'm just going to send Robert Lee. Actually, we've got, what, 3 fronts here? So we'll go down to the Baja California front. We'll mobilize all of these guys and have them advance in the various fronts. Okay, this should be the Utah front. There we go. So they're on their way, and we should be seeing very, very large bonuses here. Now, we're going to add additional war goals here. Can we only add war goals, I think before the war breaks out? But in the escalation here, I think it's okay. Currently, Great Britain would accept a sway. Interesting. Well, we'll see what happens here. El Salvador sided with Mexico. Okay, I thought that they already left, but sure, whatever. El Salvador isn't a problem. We don't want Russia to get involved. We're not going to conscript, that's for sure. And even if we dip slightly negative in our finances here, that's not a big problem. We do have battalions in reserve, and that's okay. I did want to check in on our motor industries over here. So our motor industries are working on being employed up. Got it. That's fine. So we can add additional war goals in this phase. We want to add them, like, here, right? Right before the countdown to war. Currently, Great Britain has declared neutrality. The real question is Russia. I don't think Dynam is going to be a problem. I suspect Russia won't get involved. But we're keeping an eye on it. Cool. So we are a little bit negative financially. Due to what exactly? Wages and goods. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with running this deficit, though. We're going to keep constructing. We can pause our construction if need be. Okay, so we want to wait until this is almost ready to go. Like 1 day away, and then we add a bunch of war goals. So we need to give it 1 more day here. Now we add a bunch of war goals. So what can we get away with? Well, we can conquer a few states. We can conquer Baja California for sure. Okay. And we have 89 more maneuvers that we can do. So we want to conquer... Let's see. This state is Chihuahua. Definitely. We will conquer then... Like, Durango and Sinaloa would be fine. Durango... Sinaloa. Actually, we should just go down the list. Can we get all of these? I don't think so. Yeah, that's pretty much all we can do there. Okay. So that puts our infamy to notorious. But that's fine. Now it's 1 day. Oh, escalation is paused. Right. Okay. So they may have foreseen that. We'll see if Russia decides to join. But this is still the right time to do it. It looks like Russia is not joining. Escalation is paused. 3, 2, 1. An electrical generation is unlocked. Okay. And escalation is now continuing. Countdown to war. Okay. So these guys cannot take sides. It looks like it's over. Fantastic. Nobody's joining this. We are budgeting a bureaucratic shortfall. So I would like to get a government administration built in DC. There we go. Cool. So war is going to break out. The second Mexican-American War here. And we're going to conquer significant portions of Mexico here. Cool. So we're going to have no problem over here, right? That's not going to be any issue whatsoever. And over here may or may not be an issue. We'll see. I don't think it will be. Utah will be taken over very shortly. Like, they have literally no troops there. As far as this battle goes, that's nice and easy. What about battles over here? Okay, that's a bad battle, but we kind of expect that at this point. This is apparently a new front. Okay, whatever. We're already there, so it seems good. We're going to lose some battles over here, I think, for the time being. But Utah has finished up. So that's looking good. Baja California is not going to have a problem. And we just need to fight over here enough, right? We're not colonizing while at war, I think. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so that's all completely fine. We're definitely going to get this all done. I mean, we're pretty negative financially right now. I don't mind going a little bit into debt. But this is expensive. Opium is currently expensive. New Jersey and Kentucky have low market access, so we should definitely deal with that. Looks like it's already queued up in New Jersey, but we'll get one queued in Kentucky. Cool. So we're not surprised. War is expensive, right? There's no doubt about that. If we need to, we can pause our construction, but we're still in gold reserves for right now. I do think that we probably don't need Robert Lee over here. I'm going to move him over to the Chihuahua front. There we go. So we've not made any progress over here. This is very similar to our previous war with them, although this is a good battle. I don't hate that battle. But we're going to finish up over here. This is not going to be a problem. And then we'll take over as much of Mexico as we can. We're going to run a deficit here for a while. And that's just expected. We could get out of the deficit if we wanted to pause our construction, but I don't. I don't want to pause our construction if we feel like we can get away with it. And right now, I do feel like we can get away with it. So I think it's okay for the moment. Baja California is going to fall eventually. We shouldn't have a major problem taking this over. And then we start thinking about the Columbia District, which is a puppet of Great Britain. If we're going to fight this... Ooh, look at that Hudson Bay aristocratic revolt. Okay, now it's a peasant revolt. Interesting. Britain is having some issues up here. We'll keep an eye on that. After the Mexican War, we may be interested in getting some changes up there. Okay, so what do we got going on here? These are terrible battles. I don't know why we take these in these areas. I have to assume it's due to terrain. Right? Like, this is really mountainous terrain, so maybe that has something to do with it. Minus 10% infrastructure and state construction efficiency. Sure. But it's probably terrain, is my guess. So we're continuing to push down the Baja California. That's looking good. Once again, a bad battle over here. But eventually, Mexico won't be able to keep it up. And we didn't have to raise our conscripts, so that's very, very good. We are dipping negative in our bureaucracy right now. Did we get that? I'm not sure. In DC here, I want to check in on our government administration. Okay, this just isn't full at this point. DC doesn't have the peasants, which is another good reason to build those in New York. I'm going to get another government center in DC, and we'll just need to get people to migrate in. That's okay. So obviously this battle isn't going so well for us. But we are pushing in Baja California. And Mexico's definitely losing this war, right? We have actually gotten a little bit of Chihuahua taken over, which is good. Our colonization of American Oklahoma has completed. So we're going to go ahead and make this into a proper state. Let's go ahead and do a state incorporation on Oklahoma. Cool. We know we're short on bureaucracy. That's to be expected. And we definitely want to think about Indian territory here. I'd like to get this properly annexed. But for now, we don't really have the possibility of doing that. Okay, so we're busily chasing down El Salvador's troops in Baja California. That'll be done shortly. And we have a 90% advantage in the Chihuahua front. This battle is actually good for us, believe it or not. Cool. Indeed, that is very, very good. They're currently exhausted, whereas we're lost. Perfect. So we're going to finish up Baja California here. Excellent. This, I believe, is the last area that's going to be taken over. Yes, indeed. So we're now heading over to the Chihuahua front. And we're definitely making gains down here. 17 to 10, that's a really good battle for us. This is a really, really, really good battle. I like it. Okay. Did any of those wipe, is my question. 13 plus 20? I mean, there's 25 here, so there's more going to be shifting over towards the Chihuahua front in theory. But we have a huge numbers advantage here. 2 to 2 is good. Even is in our favor, remember? So that seems fine. We're not nearly so bad in terms of our negative finances now. That looks great. And our economy is continuing to develop here. Arming the natives, huh? Russia is arming the natives in Alberta. If they want to fight, they'll get one. Okay. So that's fine. We are, of course, continuing to push into Mexico here. We do need to take their capital, which we're a ways away from yet. But we're making our way there. Ooh, that's a really good battle for us. This is an absolutely incredible battle for us. They're just getting crushed. I love it. So that's really good. Our finances are continuing to improve, but I do want to check in here. Market access in Pennsylvania and New York is a little bit low. Both of those have already had a railroad queued up, so that looks good. No problem there. Tools are a bit expensive. And that's okay. We could queue up some tooling workshops, in theory. Something like 5 of them in New York. Or actually, let's take this up to 50. There we go. What is the actual maximum of economy of scale right now? I'm not sure. Well, we're not there, whatever it is. Cool. Oh, we have additional fronts breaking out. That's actually a good thing for us. We have... Or no, these are multiple battles? No, there are multiple fronts here. There's 2. Multiple fronts is good because that will spread them out, right? They've got 22 here and only 3 here. So that's really, really good. Their capital has fallen now. And they're going to capitulate very soon. So this war is close to over. This trade route is unproductive. We'll get rid of it. I want to check in on our dye plantation here. It's getting better. It's not good, but it's getting better. Cool. So this front is now over. And we're just continuing to pressure in over here. So at this point, if we were to press all of these war goals, they have 351 reasons to not accept. Okay. Well, we'll get there. We've definitely taken higher losses than they have, but that's to be expected. To be honest, with the amount of pop growth we have, is completely fine. Okay, this battle is actually good for us, believe it or not. Cool. They have another HQ down over this way. I would have expected this to break into multiple fronts at this point, but apparently not. How are we doing on our debt? 2.62 million? That's not too bad. We're going to be turning a profit here quite soon. So I think this is looking good. I do want to wrap up this war. We do have their... Oh, this is actually split here. They capitulated. Beautiful. Beautiful. So obviously there's a bit of a gap here, right? But we are going to go after Mexico again eventually. For the moment, what do we want to do? Well, first things first. Can we build gold mines anywhere? The answer is yes. That is the absolute top priority. The secondary priority is maxing out our barracks. There we go. Looks good. And that priority is below all of this that's been auto-queued, right? So that's all down here, and it'll take a little bit. Oh, we should definitely move these down to steel frame buildings. There we go. Fantastic. So we're slightly negative right now. That should get fixed when our railways get done. Yeah, it's all... maybe. Maybe. New parties here. The Communist Party is currently winning. Okay, that's interesting. And we need to keep an eye on this situation up here. We'll see what ends up happening with that. It looks like the British are winning. Okay. I would really like to do a annexation diplomatic play on Oklahoma. It's a little weird that you apparently need to have, like, low relations with them. And that it's a diplomatic play. But whatever. We can begin damaging reputation, or rather relations with them. Now, our reputation is currently notorious, and we need to let that come down. For sure. We're currently number 3 in the world, oscillating between 2 and 3. We're projecting a bureaucratic shortfall, and I would like to get another government administration in DC. So there we go, that'll be fine. Did we finish up these railways? We did. Are they actually full of workers? They are. Okay. So we should definitely... Oh, we can build the Statue of Liberty. Do it. May as well. And we should incorporate some of these states. And of course, that means that we're going to need government administrations. So we're going to build in DC 5 of them. There we go. We're also going to get those railways built in Pennsylvania and New York. Cool. So that's all underway. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue our colonization up over here. In fact, we are currently colonizing all of this. Okay, cool. We're going to finish up our colonization up here, keep an eye on what's going on in Canada, and potentially make another move. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Ken2In, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Spartan News, Unisil, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.